The eCom Seller Summit was created to prove that with the right tools and training, anyone and everyone can make money in e-commerce. So many people want to try their hand at e-commerce, selling on eBay, Amazon, Shopify, and more, but they're afraid they won't be successful. This summit will show you that there's many ways to do e-commerce, and there are many platforms you can explore, because e-commerce really has no limits. It really can pay your bills, and e-commerce never sleeps. There's nothing like waking up to profits from getting sales all night long. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and this is the eCom Seller Summit.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Amazon 101, Getting Started Selling on Amazon. My name is Brook Stinnett, and I will be your host and guide through this journey here. You know, the great thing about starting selling on Amazon and having your own e-commerce business is really just the freedom it gives you to grow and expand with what you want to do. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about this topic and to teach. And I'll tell you some of the biggest things that we get asked when we have our students come through balance your FBA is basically wanting to know how to get started. What's the process? How do I do this? So today we're going to talk about that. After this presentation, you'll have an understanding of the beginning steps needed to set up your Amazon seller account. It's that easy. We're going to go through some step by step. We're going to talk about what you need to do, what you need to research, all that good stuff. We're also going to discuss the differences between an individual seller account and a professional seller account. We also want you to have an understanding of basic Amazon terminology by the end of this presentation, as well as we're going to discuss online arbitrage and retail arbitrage as starting points. You know, some of the biggest questions, aside from how do I get started, is what items do I source? What's that process like? So, you know, we're going to scratch that surface today and talk about it a little bit. But the biggest thing today I want you to walk away with is basically how to be able to start your Amazon account. Okay, so we'll get started. First off, who am I? As I said a minute ago, my name is Brook. I have been selling on Amazon now for about 2 years. Before that, I kind of researched it, watched it. My brother got me started actually, and then I've learned and grown from there. These past 12 months, I have had sales over 100,000 just from Amazon part-time. And my background is Walmart. I was in retail for 15 years, spent 10 of those with Walmart running stores for them in the Midwest. And this year I am actually transitioning my e-commerce business to full-time, as I've been part-time over the past couple of years. And I'm at the point now to where I am able to take it full-time. And this will be my chance to actually be home and to be with my family more and to help grow this business, because it is actually outperforming my 9-to-5 day to day. So, you know, this is a testament to me to be able to help people and teach people how to do this, because, man, it just gives you so much freedom, and it's changed my life so much. And I'm very passionate about that. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for myself. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. I started my business with $185 to buy inventory. That's all I had to start out with. Actually, the bank that I started with, they took $15 because I had 200, but they took $15 to start my business account. So it actually left me with 185, but that's what I started with. I did not accrue any debt, and I have just used that money to basically wash, rinse, and repeat. That's what I've always called it in the business. I buy things, I send them in, they sell, that money gets sent back to me, and then I take it and do the same thing over and over again. I am a mastermind coach / consultant with Balance. I work with Barrington McIntosh and Lance Wolf. And I am happily married with one kiddo and one on the way that'll be here by the end of March. So we are preparing for that and very excited. And yeah, let's get to it, guys. So now it's time we start the discussion of the beginning steps you need to do to start your Amazon account. Okay. So the first thing you can do is simply search in Google selling on Amazon, or go to sell.amazon.com. Do not get this confused with just the plain old Amazon.com website, which is basically just setting up an account for you to purchase items. Most of us have a Prime account that we order items all the time, or our significant other orders items all the time. I know I order a ton of stuff from Amazon, whether it be, you know, lotions or facial cleansers or even just sometimes food items. So don't get those confused. You are actually going to be setting up a actual seller account with Amazon, okay? Things you will need to register for an Amazon seller account. The first thing you're going to need is a bank account number and a routing number. You want to make sure you keep this separate from your personal account. So you want to either do another personal account or set up a business account. I do suggest a business account if you want to go that route. I actually did it with my credit union. We currently have a personal account with our credit union, but I set up a business account separate, but they're linked to each other. That way, as I've set up my business over the past couple of years, when I pay myself, I can obviously use that to transfer from my business account to my personal account and get a paycheck. You're also going to want to have a chargeable credit card. Mine is a debit card from my credit union. I've had no issues with that whatsoever. If you want to get a credit card, there are many different ones out there that you can choose from, whether you decide to use one in a business name or if you just decide to use a credit card to buy inventory with. I will tell you as I have not accrued any debt, I will tell you the same. Try to focus on using the money you have, the capital that you're building, and roll that back into your business. I physically didn't take any money from my business until probably about 9 to 12 months in. I focused on just basically putting that money right back in and building my business as big as I could. And I think that's what has helped make me be successful. And now I understand, basically the percentages of how much I need to pay myself versus how much I need to continue putting in the business for me to grow the way that I want to grow. My growth was huge over my first year. I did about $21,000 or so in my first year. And then my next full year, I did, right at 100,000, a little over 100,000 actually. So my growth was great. And, I owe that to hard work and obviously building my business. So chargeable credit card, like I said, mine's a debit card. So if your credit union offers a credit card, if you want to do that, fire away. If not, get your debit card that will be linked to your account, and you can use that for your when you're spending money to buy items, whether that be online or in stores. You're going to need a government issued national ID. This is your EIN. You can register for this online. Simply search EIN or FEIN, and it will pull this up, and you will be able to register your business with a number that the government will give you. You'll want to have your business name for that. So once you began this registration process, you're going to want to have a business name. You're going to have a business address. Typically, you're going to work out of your house out of the gate. That's what I've been doing. And then you are going to want to have the tax information for your business. Now, every business is different. You can start out as a sole proprietorship, which is what I did. And then this year I've actually incorporated because my business has grown so much and the different ways that I'm doing things. So you're going to want to research that and decide what's best for you. There are several different business models, whether you're a sole proprietor, if you are an LLC, if you're an S Corp or a C Corp. There's so many different ways that you can choose to do your business. So you want to do what's best for you. I do advise you to reach out to a CPA or a tax person. If you have one that you currently use, fantastic. If not, you can obviously research it on the internet, or you can ask people in groups. I know we have people that we prefer in my group, as well as we have people that we prefer in our local communities. I personally use my CPA who does my personal taxes. He handles all of my business taxes as well. He's able to go into my QuickBooks account and look at everything and make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to go. So yeah, build that relationship how you want to do that. But I can tell you, you can have people that have experience and understand how to do it. And then you can also have people that don't. So you want to make sure that you reach out to the correct people. And if you have questions, please let us know, reach out to us, and we'll help guide you there. Last but not least, you're going to need a phone number. I use my cell phone. You can obviously use whatever phone number you want to use, but that way Amazon can reach you if need be. They will typically sometimes call you. I've had one or a couple voicemails here and there, but you don't hear from Amazon very much with a phone number, but you do need that to get started. So those are the 5 things you will need to have to register as a seller on Amazon. Those 5 things. Some things to consider. You want to check your local county and state websites to see what is needed to register as a small business. With the current situation and the state of our local counties and cities, I know my area, you are not able to go into buildings right now. They still have a lot of them locked down. So you will have to do a lot of your research online, and you may have to register completely online, depending on what your state and local websites may tell you. So go ahead and look into that. Every state is different. Every state requires some license. They require you to visit state offices or not. It just depends on what your actual area requires. So make sure you take a look at that and consider those. As I said, there will be certain licenses that you will need to have more than likely, and the cost is typically pretty minor, but these are needed to operate a business. I know in the state I live in, you have to have a business license as well as a retail license. And the one license is good for several years. And then I know the business license I have to re-up every year, and the price can change based off of how much I've done in sales. So it may be different by state. I know my father-in-law has started to register, and he is in a different state, and they have different ways they have to go about it. So yeah, definitely check your state out and be prepared for that. You'll also need these your licenses to apply for your tax exemption with most retailers. So for instance, a good one is Walmart. They require you to not only bring in your documentation to be tax exempt in the store, but you also have to have that a reseller certificate as well as your business license numbers to give them to buy tax exempt online as well. So any retailers that offer you the ability to buy tax exempt, you have to prove that you are a business and that you're not just basically buying items without paying tax for them. When you purchase items for resale, you always want to be tax exempt if the retailer allows it. The biggest reason for that is you don't want to pay taxes on an item that you're not going to personally use. This is what we call a sales and use tax. If you buy something and you're going to use it, consume it, whatever, then you need to pay tax on that item because it's something that you're personally using. If you are buying to resale, you do not need to pay tax on that item simply because you're going to resell it. And someone who's going to buy it and use it will be the person that will actually pay the sales tax on that. Amazon collects this from your customers and remits on your behalf in most states. There are a few that they don't do just yet, but I think they'll eventually get to where they do all the states that is required to collect sales tax in. As I mentioned a minute ago, you can also apply online for tax exemption for websites as well, and Walmart will be one that you will want to apply for. Walmart is probably where I get 90% of my items for resale. That is in store and online. Walmart does allow me to buy tax exempt in both areas. And yeah, it's my favorite website. And of course, I spent 10 years there, so I know the ins and outs and can obviously help guide people through Walmart. As I mentioned earlier, you'll want to consider what the name of your business is going to be. I obviously chose things that were certain to me and what I wanted my business to be called. So yeah, be thinking about that before you sign up and you have an idea of what you want your business name to be. It will be what customers will see when they buy something from you on Amazon. So yeah, you want to make sure that it's a good name and that it's something they're going to remember. Now, let's discuss differences between individual and professional accounts on Amazon. So there are 2 types of accounts that Amazon allows you to choose from when you sign up for a seller account. I personally started with an individual account, and I'll explain why. An individual account basically means you're going to sell fewer than 40 items a month. You do not need advanced selling tools or programs because you're just starting out. You're new and you just haven't decided exactly what you're going to sell. These are things that Amazon tells you to think about when you're signing up for a seller account. The fee Amazon charges per sale on an individual account is 99 cents per transaction. The reason I chose to start out with an individual account is one, I had $185 to spend on my account, on my items, on my inventory. And I did not feel that I would sell 40 items a month out of the gate, especially because I didn't have enough money to buy probably that many items to resell. So at that point, I decided that the individual account was better for me to get started. And it allowed me to just have the 99 cent per transaction charge from Amazon. A professional account, basically, you're looking to sell more than 40 items a month. This gives you access to more selling reports, more tools, allows you more access to ungating and Amazon functions. If you start out with this account out of the gate, you're going to pay $39.99 monthly. Now, as I said, I personally started selling with an individual account. I was on a budget and did not want to spend the $39.99 a month as a business expense. I did not believe I would sell over 40 items per month. So I was correct starting out this way, as I did not start selling over 40 items until about month 3. The good thing is you can switch to a professional account at any time, and that's what I did. So you want to be able to look at your business and kind of project where you're going. So if you see by month 2, or even if you're in month 1, if you go in with more money to spend on inventory and you know you're going to sell over 40 items, then I highly suggest starting out with a professional account. If you're lower in your budget and you're starting out smaller, you can start out with the individual and you can switch over. The biggest thing is be ready and kind of look for how much you're spending. If you see that you've bought over 40 items and you're sending them in, I would transition that to a professional account at that time, mainly because once you transition, they're going to go ahead and charge you that $39.99. So if you have a month that you're going into and you're already selling many items, well, you're still going to pay that 99 cents per sell before you transition. So just keep that in mind. You can, it's not like you're going to lose a bunch of money, maybe $10, $15, $20, which is what happened to me because I switched over in the middle of the month and sold well over 40 items. But just think about that. Be prepared to transition. That way you can make sure you're maximizing your 99 cents and your dollars towards your business. Now, you've done your due diligence and you have your Amazon account registered and you're ready to go. Download the Amazon Seller app and log in with your information from your seller account that you've registered. This app you'll want to go get very familiar with, as this is where you're going to run your business from. You're also going to use the website sellercentral.amazon.com to do a lot of the day-to-day work like creating listings, creating shipments, etc., because you're going to live and run your business off of the app and Seller Central. They're going to look very similar because they're the exact same thing. One is a website, one is the app. You're going to use the app on the go. If you're like me, you're going to check the app many times daily to see where your sales are at. And you're going to use the app to scan a lot of your items. I use the website a lot whenever I'm creating shipments, whenever I want to get more in detail with one of my items, like looking at my inventory and things like that. So it just varies as to which way you prefer to do certain tasks with your business. So I do want to discuss some common terminology when it comes to Amazon and e-commerce. The first one's going to be what's called FBA. You've probably heard this. You can see it behind me. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. This simply means you are shipping products to Amazon and they will physically store your product and ship it to the customer when it is purchased. This is the way that I started out my business. This is the way that I still do my business now. I will tell you that FBA is probably 90%, 95% of my sales. I send the majority of my things to Amazon. I love this because once I've prepped it here, I've got it in a box and I'm shipping it off to a fulfillment center. I don't really have to think about it anymore. I've done my work here. It's sent in and now Amazon's going to check it in. They're going to store it at a fulfillment center. And then once it's sold, they're going to ship it out for me as well. They do charge you a percentage of the sale for the item. It just varies as how much the items are or basically the size of the item. They vary by oversized to regular size. So each one is going to be different. But yes, FBA is probably the easiest, in my opinion, process to follow when it comes to sending things to Amazon. There's also a term called SFP. It's called Seller Fulfilled Prime. Just like it sounds, Amazon allows you to ship to the customer, and you will have the Prime badge on the listing without having to send it to the warehouse. This is a program that a lot of people have applied for. I've applied for as well. Amazon varies back and forth as to when they let people in. I know back several years ago, it was a little bit easier to get into it, but it's much harder to get into it now. But Seller Fulfilled Prime is a lot of people's dreams to get a hold of and do, because you get that Prime badge and you can ship things out yourself. I will tell you that your shipping is going to cost more, and it's going to be um, a process that you have to be on task. Like it is one of those things that you, as soon as somebody buys something, you basically got to ship it within the very next day, if not the same day. So it can be a challenging way to do things. Next is merchant fulfilled. This is simply when you list the product and ship it yourself, and you do not have the Prime badge. I do sell items this way because when you have fast movers or items that go quickly, or they're popular toys or things like that, sometimes listing right in the store while you're shopping can help you gain immediate sales. And I have no problem doing that because I set myself up to have a scale here and to be able to ship things out quickly. I've got a good deal with my postal person who picks up my shipments every day when I have them. So yeah, I've set myself up for success there. So merchant fulfilled, I do about 5 to 10% of my sales, depending on what happens, but that is the majority, is about 5 to 10%, and the rest is FBA. SC stands for Seller Central. This is where you're going to run your business. You're going to hear people say SC a lot. You may see it as an abbreviation, so I just wanted you to explain what it is. Seller Central keeps track of your inventory, runs your business reports. You see your financials there. You can even see your customer feedback, and there's so much more that you can see in Seller Central that helps you run your business. So these are just a few terms to get used to when it comes to running your business on Amazon. There's many others that we can discuss, but just wanted to kind of scratch the surface of these through this call or through this webinar. And so you know what we're talking about whenever we say MF or FBA or SFP. There you go. So let's talk a little bit about retail arbitrage. You've heard people probably say RA or OA. If you've searched this on the internet, you're probably wondering, what in the world is this? What does this mean? Well, RA, or retail arbitrage, by definition, is essentially buying an item from a market source and selling it for a profit on another market source like Amazon. So an easier breakdown, it's when you go into a store like Walmart, scan an item with the Amazon seller app, and see that you can make profit on it. Then purchase it and sell it for profit on Amazon. This is basically kind of your business model. If you're starting out and you're going to do retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, this is your business model. A lot of people will buy clearance, but I will tell you that I don't buy as much clearance as I buy regular items. If I'm at Walmart, I buy rollback. I buy things that are on sale. They have different sales throughout the month. So I don't just buy clearance. I buy items that are replenishables, items that I can keep buying over and over and over again and keep selling. That's really the main goal that you're trying to accomplish, is find items that you can continue to buy at a great price. And sometimes even buying in Walmart is buying at wholesale prices. But you want to keep buying the same items and keep selling them so you can keep sending it in, keeping them moving. And that's the goal you're trying to accomplish here, is to build your business off of items like replenishables. Online arbitrage, OA. OA by definition is the same as retail, but you're doing it online versus physically going into a store. For an easier breakdown, you are shopping on a website like Walmart.com and sourcing to find items you can sell on Amazon for a higher cost and to make profit. It's essentially the same thing. Again, these can be clearance, rollback, regular priced, seasonal, or even wholesale. I will tell you that a lot of items that I buy during the seasonal times, especially for Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter, I do so well with candies, or at Christmas time, I do so well with inflatables, Halloween inflatables, gosh, Christmas lights, boxes. I mean, you wouldn't believe the items that you can buy in stores and make plenty of profit on Amazon. So online arbitrage is great. because you can do it from your house. You can do it from the car if you have a way to get Wi-Fi in your car, or even if you can have a hotspot set up, you can source right in your car. You can source on your phone and do online arbitrage. But the great thing is both these business models work, and they just continue to get better and better. My business has grown so much over the past couple of years, and I am doing OA and RA. That's what I do. That's how I build my business. RA and OA will be where you source and find the items to sell on Amazon or other platforms you may sell on. There are people that sell on Walmart.com. There are people that sell on Etsy. There are people that have Shopify stores. There are so many different ways and places to sell out there. eBay. I mean, there are plenty of places to sell product. Amazon is just where I started and continue to grow. So Amazon is a great place to be, and Amazon just continues to get bigger and bigger. So I recommend when you first start getting into RA and OA, I would start with scanning things at your house first with the Amazon Seller app so you can get comfortable with the functionality of the app. Try scanning some old books, scan some food in the pantry, etc. Try those things. When I first started, I was scanning my wife's books. She wouldn't let me sell any of them, but I was able to scan them, and I was able to get an idea of how I could sell books and how much I could sell them for. Even gave me ideas to go search maybe thrift stores or go and look at books at bookstores like a Barnes and Noble or something like that. I also just started scanning random things in my pantry, and a lot of my background in Walmart was grocery, so I have a lot of knowledge on that product. So it gave me ideas just to scan anything and everything to try to get an idea of items that I could sell and make profit with. So do this. It helps you practice. It helps you gain knowledge as to what you're looking for and how to scan things. One of the things that I teach in my course is how many different ways you can scan an item, or how many different ways you can search for an item to see different listings. And it'll blow your mind how many different listings are out there just for a basic everyday macaroni and cheese. Let's just say that type of item. So yeah, it's amazing how many great listings you can find. And then go to a website and scan as well. So that way you can learn and get your technique down. You can use your seller app to scan on a Walmart.com website and scan items all day long. You can search, get comfortable, understand what you're looking at. It's so much fun to get a hold of it and understand and see what you're doing. And as you do that, you'll get your technique down. As I always say, practice makes perfect, and it will help you get a good process in place and be prepared to go out into stores and obviously do some research online as well to find items to sell on your new Amazon seller account. So that about wraps up what I wanted to cover with my Amazon 101 webinar. This is really just scratching the surface of getting registered and getting started. If you're brand new to selling online, then this will certainly get you up and running. I hope you've enjoyed this course, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me and the eCom Sellers Summit. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a mastermind coach consultant with Balance. I lead 2 groups, selling on Amazon for new sellers and existing sellers. And I also have a group called the Monthly Bolo Replen List. If you're looking to learn more about selling on Amazon with training modules, then my first group mentioned will be for you. I teach how to get started, what supplies you need, creating listings, creating shipments, how to ship and pack, how to use certain ways to get your items to Amazon. I mean, I teach all different types of perspectives there. The other group, I offer a monthly Bolo replen list of 40 items that I have personally sourced and put on the list with the research that I did. So that way you can see exactly what I've done, where my research comes from, and how I feel and see that item is going to be a great seller. Both of my groups have WhatsApp chats where you can ask questions, interact with myself, as well as other members of the team that are there to help each other grow their businesses as well. They both also offer monthly webinars. With the Bolo group, we talk about the items that we're putting on this month's list, and you see those, and we release that list at the same time for everyone so they can all go by at the same time. The other we use as training. We talk about certain topics, If a person wants me to elaborate on trainings, we do those in the webinars to help people grow their business and to get comfortable selling on Amazon. So again, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I'm able to help you in your journey with e-commerce. And I thank Nicole and her team for inviting me back to the eCom Sellers Summit this time. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.